I'm going to let everyone drop in. I don't see anyone connected yet, so we will just wait a second or two. Okay. Just making sure I got everything set. All right. Hello. Welcome, guys. I don't know if it's slow showing that you guys are here. If you're already here, feel free to drop in the chat, say hello. It's great to have you here. I missed last week, and I really did. I missed it a lot. I had to cancel. I had some stuff going on here. And hi, hello, Tina. I'm really glad to be back. So yeah, everyone, as you're coming in, feel free to drop in the chat, say hello, say where you're joining us from, what brought you here today, and how's your Thursday, honestly? Like, how's life? I think the best part about having like a community hangout that we do every week is that we can just really check in with each other and see what's going on. Because sometimes, you know, life can be full of challenges, and then we have kind of more positive swings with lots of celebration and things like that. And it's lovely to know where you guys are, you know, coming from, you know, physically, and then also kind of energetically as well, so that I can hold you in the space as lovingly as possible. And yeah, I hope that when you guys come through this space, you come out feeling a bit more aligned and, you know, more, I think the word I really want to kind of use is like more nurtured, because I think this world right now can be so chaotic and so many things happening, and just being able to stop and nurture ourselves, it really goes so far. So thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this act of kindness and this, you know, this moment for yourself as well. So give yourself credit. And then, yeah, drop in the chat, say hello. Where are you joining us from? I'm coming from Vancouver, BC. It's a beautiful day here. And yeah, I'm just excited. Things are looking up. We've had some challenging weeks to a month, honestly. I know if you guys have been here before, I've chatted a bit about it. And it's just really nice to see like blue sky, the sun is shining. I woke up today and I was like, not even nervous, just excited to see everyone again. I think taking the week off really helped me appreciate how much this is like what I have always wanted, I guess, in terms of community. It'd be great if you guys were nearby and we could go for a coffee or go to the park, you know what I mean? It'd be so amazing, but I'll take online. It's better than nothing. I know a lot of people that are drawn to these spaces have had challenges finding really resonant friendships and connections and stuff. So I consider you all a friend. I consider you all just honestly such a gift in my life, and I'm so thankful to be here. I always say I'm thankful for Insight Timer because, yeah, it's connected me with the greatest people. I kind of ventured onto Insight Timer like 4 years ago, not really knowing what was going to happen, and I ended up falling in love with everything about the app and then myself, you know. I think I found Saki Ravi that did some work, some lives, and he still does, and Charles did Inner Child lives, but then it was Jessica, and I mentioned this because they were all live the other, I think Friday before last, together, and that was so cool. I love to jump on other people's lives still. That's kind of, I was doing it for 4 years before I actually started my own. So fun fact, I just started going live in July, so it's been amazing. I didn't expect it to be such a positive response and to find so many wonderful people. So again, thank you guys. And yeah, I just wanted to say I found Jessica Amos and it changed my life. And we had the Open Hearts Club, and she's just put a pause on that right now. But essentially it was like 3.5 years of me showing up every week and hearing her kind of bathe me in like the love I didn't know I needed, the way that she is so kind and conscious and badass and energetic and wise, and just all these things that I was able to appreciate in her kind of helped me nurture those things in myself. So this space is heavily inspired by Jessica and her work and so many of the other people I've connected with on this app. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you, yeah, for really just being on this app, because I think this is the kind of, you know, future I want to see for the world, is people who are kind of curious about self-awareness and radical acceptance and how we can be kinder to ourselves and then, you know, the world around us. So yeah, I'm just going to check out the chat. Again, feel free to say where you're from, and how you're feeling today. What's your weather like? I love to know. Craig, good morning. Canberra, Australia. Wow, all here. So the weather is beautiful in your state. Wow, thank you so much for joining today, Craig. That's so awesome. Guys, let me know if you're new or if you've been here before. We have a bit of like a I don't know, like a group that we've assembled every Thursday. I see some familiar faces and I'm so happy because it's like, I don't know, it's like my own open hearts club in a way. I really miss Jessica leading it though, and me just sitting and enjoying it. Like, I love hosting, don't get me wrong, but there's something so relaxing about just going to someone else's live and then everything they say resonates and you're just like, yes. That's what I want to be for you guys, hopefully, right? But I also appreciate it too. So I love when you guys get in the chat and just let me know if anything resonates with what I'm saying, or just let me know, yeah, just anything. Like, honestly, I'm very like naturally vulnerable and authentic and open, as you'll see. And I just encourage that energy as much as possible. You guys, yeah, just feel free to share what's been going on with you. I know that there's been like an eclipse and like some heavy energetic, you know, changes lately. And a lot of people have just been having like, you know, a lot of challenges. So I'd be really curious to know if you guys, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how has life been for you guys lately? Because mine was a 0 for a month. Like it was no, not a stone cold 0. Because no matter what, I still have, you know, my health. Okay, my health was actually affected as well. But like, you know what I mean? Like I got these teeth and these hands to do things, and the sun does come up sometimes it rains, and you gotta find that silver lining. And sometimes I was getting real creative being like, all right, this is getting tougher and tougher, and then I would get like another 1-2 punch where I didn't expect it, because life really do that, you know. So no hate. That's what's brought me here. I've actually shared my story, and I think when you meet me, you don't expect it, and I share what I've been through. People are like, what? Like, how? Like, how did, as a Canadian woman, like growing up in, you know, a privileged, you know, society, like, why did you have to endure that? And I think we're all kind of learning that together, that there's so much like systematic little t trauma in just being alive on this planet, but being neurodiverse all this time and not knowing it, or you know what I mean? You find out things later in life and you're like, oh, that would have been really helpful to know as a kid. But if I had I known that, I wouldn't have had these exact experiences that have integrated this wisdom. So it's a balance, right? Of being like, I'm thankful for my experiences, but I also forgive myself because I didn't choose, right? I didn't choose to suffer. No one chooses to suffer. I love when we just like get on people with unsolicited advice and like telling them how to like chill. Like, let's just all recognize each other, not choosing to suffer, getting through it the best that we can, and then coming back together and being like, woo, we got through it, or we're still in it, and we can uphold and cheer each other on, and things like that. And you guys were great for that. The week before last when I was here, I was just kind of mentioning what I was going through, and I think it was Claudia, I said something about like feeling like I was in the desert, and she was like, here's your water in the desert. And I was like, it really is. Like, finding people like this is like a sip of water after a long, you know, commute through the desert, and you're not sure when you're gonna have water again. You just thug it out. But I'm here to do that with you guys always, to go through whatever experiences and to cheer you on as best as I can. And everything I share here is just based off my personal experience and what I've learned. And the more I learn, the less I know. It's just so true. So yeah, I do as much as I can to create a space that I also want for myself, right? And I've kind of been on the pursuit of creating resources for people who relate to me and what I share on here. And then, of course, you know, that's kind of been sidetracked with all the things that I've been kind of experiencing. But that is my ultimate goal, is to make a really unique space that people can come to and feel very safe and feel that their neurodiversity is celebrated, and it's just truly neuro-inclusive, not like saying they're neuro-inclusive, but actually isn't, you know what I mean? And that we have resources that are like health resources that aren't for just neurotypical people, right? And to those standards, like we're different. A lot of us are different, and we need to do things differently. And trying to do things the same old way when it doesn't work and just being harder on ourselves, I think anyone here can relate to, like, that doesn't work, right? Like, we've all done it. We've all tried to make ourselves fit in a box or to do something and just said, just try harder. And it just doesn't work like that. So it's an amazing and beautiful awakening. It's also exhausting at times though. So I'm curious if anyone here, like what brought you here today? Did you just see me live in the live events? Did you read the description at all? Are you curious about neurodiversity? Are you more curious about radical acceptance? Let's get this chat going, guys, because this is a community space first and foremost. So I need you guys. I'm also still recovering some challenges in my life, and my energy is like, up and down, but which I gotta say is so beautiful for me to really notice, because in my past I would just push through things with like this blind perseverance and thinking I was such a hero. But now I'm proud to say sometimes I check in with myself and take a nap rather than go and do a huge bike ride or something, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just me, my body, my energy. I can't deplete it forever, right? I mean, I can, but what for what? When we start to have kind of awareness into, I don't know, how beautiful our kind of energy is, and how we actually, nurturing it is kind of an honor. At first it seems annoying. It's like, oh no, I'm burnt out, like I have to take care of myself. But then it's like, oh, I've connected with something greater now. So let's just like all self-care together every Thursday and go out into the world, and they can't get us. All the all the challenges, right? They can't get us down so much if we always check in with ourselves, each other, nurture self-awareness, compassion, kindness in ourselves, right? I mean, put up your hand if you have an internal soundtrack that is just so cruel. And no matter how much work I do, I catch it. I'm like, what? Am I like up against myself in my own mind right now? And then I'm like, my body's all tense and I'm all like kind of hunched over, and I just catch it and I'm like, how long have I been like this, you know? But instead of being like annoyed and feeling like I could be better, I'm like, oh, haha, come here, you know, I gotta like bathe myself in the energy that I'm so quick to give others, right? To nurture and to inspire and to lead. And I know a lot of us relate, sensitive, empathetic, really beautiful people on Insight Timer that, I don't know, I just trust y'all. You guys are great. I spend more time here on it than any kind of social app now. And I just feel like, yeah, the community is more filtered, and just like people all kind of have that common desire to improve their life, or just to be more mindful, which is so beautiful. I think it's really all we can do, because no matter what you go through, you can't control anything. We learned that, right? All we can really do is dance through the storms, and then really enjoy when the storm stops, right? Really sit and enjoy the rainbow and the blue sky. And that's kind of been my practice. So hi, I'm sitting outside in the sun. Cold wind though too. Yeah, Christine, hello. That's so exciting. Okay, I feel you on the wind, because it's deceiving. You like look out, you're like, yeah, it's nice out, and then you go and you're like, that's a crisp wind. That's an Antarctic wind. I'm so glad you're here, Christine. It's so lovely. When people come back, it's like there's no better feeling in the world. Like there's no words. I'll just cry at the camera, I said, too, like every couple of weeks, just to let you guys know how thankful I am. Because I actually am so unbelievably grateful that I get to do this. This is like the coolest thing ever. And when I talk about it, I'm like, you can tell I'm excited about it. I'm like, I do this thing on Insight Timer. You should come. Tina from sunny Okanagan, BC. That's my mother. #1 cheerleader. My dad is actually usually here, too, if he's not working at the photo lab. It's funny, he like retired as a nurse, and then now he's kind of gone back to one of his younger, more youthful passions, which was developing film and things like that. And my company he does that with, like, brought him out to Vancouver on a conference. And I think we are so naive sometimes, because we were definitely all like neurodiverse and we didn't know. We're starting to find out now, like for my family. Again, I won't speak for everyone, but like there's just moments I'm like, God, we're so naive. And like my dad was excited to see me, because I've explained on here before, I've been really open, that it's challenging for me to be around family because it's very emotionally overstimulating for me, and it's just so taxing. It just doesn't make it, I go into fight or flight, and I'm just not, you can do so much practice, but family is really the greatest test. And my family's incredible, and I really love them and appreciate them. And they're all very unique. And I think it's always pattern to pattern, never person to person. So it's like, no matter what goes on, I always just want to get through whatever it is, and then back to neutrality and just open communication and things like that. My family and I have worked through that a lot throughout the years. So yeah, but again, I'm privileged, right? Because like to have a family that keeps listening when it's hard, and we've all kind of had like, not failures, but we've all learned things the hard way throughout. So I'm really grateful for that. I always share that here, that I'm thankful for my parents being so active in my life, and they are like my best friends and my cheerleaders in that way. And we've gone through some very big challenges as well. So I just want anyone to know that's going through that kind of polarity with their family, if anyone's in the smack dab in the middle of it, like it's not always going to be like that. I really truly believe that. I think that learning nonviolent communication, learning how to have self-awareness, how to pause, how to reflect with ourselves just makes our relationship so much more healthy. And when we lead by example, right, we can't fix our parents. God, how many people have tried that? Like, that's a conversation I love to relate to people through, is we all try to fix each other all the time. But really, what if like we realized how short this dance is on this planet, and we just had delicious food and sat on the patio and sat together and, you know what I mean, and just did the things and carried on the culture that they taught us or their grandparents, like reconnect with the things before us and after us and dream of a future and also stay present. And I don't know, I just want to romanticize and live this life like certified lover girl, right? I've said that a lot on here. I want to spend as much time with my family, but as safely for me, right? I can't, because I am such a dreamer, I can't abandon where I'm at and what my needs need to be and things like that. So anyway, it was really beautiful to connect with my dad because we had less pressure because he was here with tech and you know, a tech conference or whatever, and it didn't rely just on me and hosting, you know, my parents and stuff. So we were able to connect briefly yesterday before, you know, he leaves today, and then we went for dinner, which is always a challenge for me too. Like some of my weirdest anxiety and triggers through my life, I was always like, what? And then I started to find out that I was autistic and ADHD, which I was diagnosed a lot younger, but I wasn't taught what that meant in terms of like how it would affect me through my life, what it actually looks like. I thought like hyperactivity and like, you know, things like that. But I actually have like a paralyzing fear with food sometimes. And sometimes I can't eat food if I'm like even a little bit overstimulated. And I don't know if anyone here relates to that or if they have kids that do too, right? I have a lot of incredible parents that drop by because they have a kid that struggles with like ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, and things like that are very common with people on the spectrum. And I'm just gonna say, like, I feel you, I've been there, and it can be really exhausting. Like when a date asks me out to go for dinner, I feel like that's the classiest and most like grown-up thing to do, and I'm like, no. Like I've learned that I have like just anxiety, and when I learn to just let myself do things like the more gentle way and more kind of aligned with what feels good for me, it allows me to be more present and to be a better person and to be all the more, you know, connected with what I'm really looking for, and, you know, and how just more present and mindful, right? So yeah, it's funny coming here and sharing the resources and education I've learned about like late diagnosed neurodiversity and just how to practice radical acceptance in this crazy world has also taught me so much on how to accommodate myself. And I like to lead by example, right? Everything I say here, I can't go out and do something that's opposite of my values. And I never wanted to do that anyway, but I think we can all agree that sometimes we do that without realizing that we can kind of assert boundaries and they can still be, you know, disrespected, and we don't put cold hard stops to it because, you know, I'm not a psychologist by any means, but it's such a challenging world when, you know, our childhood does affect the way that we function, and we do kind of like have all of these interesting nuances in the way that we don't see the world honestly, depending on where we're at in our own self-awareness. So yeah, it was really beautiful to see my dad and to have it low pressure, and to be maybe the first time I've seen my parents and not had like a major kind of trigger or anxiety or overstimulation in like a long time. And I was like, okay, good, this is self-efficacy, this is showing my brain like this is a neural pathway, like this is, we're firing, like we're good, this is means I can heal and move forward and see my family more, right? I just have to keep the pressure off of it. And I know my dad's so funny, he's like, come and stay for 3 weeks, and I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Like I'd love to, but he just wants to see me more, right? So I don't know if anyone relates to this, having, you know, challenging relationships with anyone. It doesn't have to be just family, but where you have to set boundaries and be really aware of yourself. And that's so hard at first. I probably spent most of my 20s just spiraling, trying to do things that I thought I was supposed to do that didn't serve me. But again, without those experiences, I wouldn't be here teaching. So I am really thankful. And I think that Adriana that was stomping through Vancouver in her little black Air Force Ones that didn't know anything and was so confused by why it was so hard to talk to her own family and why she was always anxious. Like that girl, I just feel like she'd be so happy and so proud to see, I'm going to cry, see me doing this now, because it was so hard. So it was beautiful to have that connection yesterday that was not aligned with all that trauma that I've slowly been able to release and to heal and to work through with the help of platforms like this and communities like this that I want to build so much more of, so that we can all not be judged for what we've gone through, but release it effectively and move into a more beautiful storyline for ourselves. I think that we all really deserve that. So it was lovely. And then I cycled up to meet him at the art gallery here in Vancouver, and it started like flooding, like raining, and it was like so aggressive. It was like beyond, you know, when you're so soaked to the bone that like your hair to your scalp, like everything, and you're nowhere near home, and you just think, well, that's something. Like, I have no control. It's almost blissful to be in such a state of chaos where it's just it's just you being alive. You feel your body. It's wet, you know. You're in the, you just, everyone around you is laughing because it's like ridiculous. It's just, it was pelting and it was like flooding down the streets, and I was like cycling in a small river home, and I went over the bridge and into Kitsilano, and it was way less rainy, and everyone there was like pretty dry, and then there was me just dripping. So I had a really good laugh, and it felt like childlike and really beautiful. So I don't know, I love stuff like that. I feel like life is a treat, and that's what we came here to do, is to have really hilarious experiences like that. And then on my way home, there's a beautiful greenway, and there was a rainbow, and I was like, wow, you know. I feel like when I was a kid, I saw more rainbows. I'm like, where are all these rainbows at? I haven't seen them in a while. And I think it's just because we were outside more as kids, maybe. I don't know. But I'm a cyclist, so I'm out as much as I can be. Trying to develop Adriana alternative and everything here, and, you know, makes me stay inside. So working on things, and I'm really thankful for that. But having these moments where I'm like playing in the rain, see my dad, the rainbow, yeah, it was really cool. And then I came home and realized I go live tomorrow. It was tomorrow, you know, yesterday, and I was really excited about that because it's just all like little signs that I'm achieving everything that I've always wanted. You have a long-term goal, and you work towards it in these little kind of micro steps each day, and it's beautiful to see. You know, it becomes a lifestyle change, and it's beautiful to see myself at this point where I kind of always dreamed of, but it was like a long kind of distant goal. And yeah, that's basically it. It was just honestly incredible. And I think, again, I asked myself, like, okay, what got me here? Because things were really, you know, challenging before, in my past. And what was the main thing that carried me from A to B? And it's always radical acceptance, because it's true, like, when I'm not accepting of myself and my situation, I can't be creative and find resolution, right? Like, how do we resolve something or move out of something if we don't even have an ounce of surrender to it, right? We're always trying to control things. It almost eludes our vision and our focus and how we can attack a problem or surrender from it, right? And allow something greater to, and time and space, right? We learn to look at things from different angles. So if anyone out there has faced any challenges recently, I just want to give you guys so much credit, because I know we all fight battles that no one knows that we're fighting. And I try to share as much as I can on here, but I'm learning too that like privacy is also very important, and I can be very naive to that because I'm, again, certified lover girl. So you'll have to excuse me just sharing everything with reckless abandon, because I love the community, but then the world is a certain place, you know. There's a lot of duality, a lot of different characters out here, a lot of different things and motives and stuff. And I think at the end of the day, underneath us all, we're all truly still made of the same things. But I think we can go so far from our natural light and state of curiosity because of all the systematics of living in this world. So some of the people that have helped me into some of the worst challenges of my life, I also have empathy for. I don't ever feel like a victim. Maybe at first, yeah, for sure. But then I come around to it and I'm like, man, we're all just fighting this battle in some way or another. And I'm so glad that I can stop after a month of being in like fight or flight and just be like, I don't have to fight a battle anymore. I can do my best, outsource where I can, you know what I mean? Like, just at a point, you're just like, I can come back to myself. And I've just integrated, you know, when you go through so many challenges, you're almost like so tired. It's like a good thing. It's not like a burnt out thing. It's like I'm not investing energy where I don't need it to be now. Like that was crazy. Like, I don't know if anyone relates to that. I see some hearts, and I'm like, I hope you guys have that blissfully kind of restful, kind of like that exhaustion after a really good workout. You're like, exhausted, but like you feel good, right? It's kind of like that. I hope that should we go through challenges that make us feel like we're absolutely not okay, I hope that, you know, we feel and integrate these powerful kind of after effects, integrating the wisdom of it, and feeling energetically stronger, but also more like neutral in a way too. I think neutrality is so powerful. Life for me was so up and so down, up and down, up and down. And just to be like neutral, sometimes, you know, people ask me, especially like dating, they're like, are you happy? I'm like, yeah, but like, I'm not seeking happiness all the time. And I think that's what made my life the healthiest, is the radical acceptance and just allowing things to be neutral or boring. Because when things are neutral or boring and we don't identify that, look how we reach for things that do not serve us. Like, put that down. You just sit, just chill. Like, you're good. You can just hang out. You don't need whatever it is, whatever, you know. But at the same time, if we can nurture that, you know, boredom into curiosity for something that's creative and expressive, right? Like, I think that's a huge lifestyle change for a lot of us. We come out of sabotaging patterns, and now we're going into like, let's paint, let's dance, let's do this. And it takes a while at first, and you have to radically accept yourself from here to here. You have to be loving of every version of yourself, or else you can't move forward as gracefully. I'll tell you that one. I'm going to read some comments. I hope this all resonates with you guys. This is kind of like how I share and teach, is just this, honestly. And when you guys drop something in the comments or have a question or something, I'd love to do, like, that's great. That's like a great way to inspire my highest wisdom. I think it's not my wisdom, it's like my experiences plus how much I love this community, and it just makes a really beautiful, aligned experience for me. I come out of these feeling so much better, and like I feel like this is me, you know, this is the most honest me, and I get to know myself more by doing stuff like this. So I'm gonna see what everyone's saying here. Sunny, 80 degrees in Nevada. Cool. Tina, another Tina. That's so fun. Thank you so much for joining. Craig, the sun is yet to rise here, 5:05 a.m. You know, I've had a couple people from Australia join the lives, and they're like, it's always like, are you up late or are you waking up early? I'm always curious. Like, what side of it are you on? Are you like the night owl or the early riser, Craig? Ella, good evening from Romania. That's amazing. Wow. When I see how international this audience is, I actually get very emotional. Like, I'm just so appreciative to connect with people all over the world that I don't think I would have ever been able to. So Insight Timer is honestly the bee's knees, time and time again. And Romania has a special place in my heart because I live in my building now for, I think, like 6 or 7 years, and my building managers who live downstairs are from Romania, and they're probably my favorite people in the world. And the people, like, I think they're the only people I've known the longest in the city, and they're very like straight up and very like, they don't say a lot, but I don't need them to. Like, it's the perfect relationship for me, being as autistic as I didn't know I was. Like, it's just enough, you know. We don't have to do all the small talk, and they're so loving. And how, I don't know, just when people say less, sometimes what they do say is more impactful. So that's what I'll say. I just love having them around. They're the best. I used to think they hated me, but really they were just like really, like, I guess culturally, like Eastern Europeans can sometimes be very just like dry, you know, and very like straightforward and very, you know, I wouldn't generalize the whole group because, again, I have yet to travel and see the world, y'all. Please donate. No, I'm kidding. The donations actually do go, I should mention that. When you guys donate here, it helps me create resources for late diagnosed autistics and ADHD and other neurodivergent and neurodiverse people. Because, again, when we go into like health and wellness and stuff, a lot of the protocols and a lot of the things that work for a lot of people don't work for us. So that's like what I do specifically. And then coming here to help foster community as well. So the main thing is like community and resources. So I ask myself, like, what do I need the most, right? I need things that get me to where I need to be without all of the excess energy and money. And yeah, it's just, how many times have we done wellness where we spend so much and it's so much work, and we're kind of in the same place. And that's the opposite of what we want here. We want like really, really, really authentic community and really, really like simple and effective resources. So when you guys drop in here and, you know, support the space, it also allows me to come on here as well, right? So I really appreciate when you guys donate and when you support the goal, because yeah, it's been really challenging lately. I got so excited, you know, developing this, and then there's definitely been some obstacles along the way recently, but it's also helped me kind of reconnect with how much I want this and how much I'm willing to fight for this. and invest in this, but it is something that is just, it is outside of me financially at this point, and that's what's so disheartening. And so every dollar makes such a difference. I really, from the bottom of my heart, it means so much when you guys support, because it is really that right now. Yeah, it's all, my essentially everything's funded by donations. So, and then I'm working my day job to support myself in one of the most expensive cities in the world. So that's why I don't leave though either, right? Because when you stay in a place, it's a bit more rent controlled. So I'm strategic about it. I'm trying my best. It's not the best situation, but sometimes I like to just call it my like Jenny from the block era. And I like to just like, you know, thug it out. It'll get better. But I got more challenges where I thought I was going to have a breakthrough. And that is crazy. And again, radical acceptance, because I'm not in control of anything at the end of the day. Like absolutely nothing. And I learned that over and over again. And however many challenges and things I meant to go through, I am. Am I tired? Yes. Do I want a little breaky do? Yeah. Do I get one? Who's to say? All I can do is protect my energy, set boundaries, stay focused on my goals, and rest. I'm learning the more rest, the better. I didn't realize how under rested I was. And that was partially why I was canceled last week as well. Things were, I was straight up in fight or flight for like a week with what I was dealing with in my life. And I was like, I just couldn't imagine coming on live here, and I don't even know if I would really know where I was. It was just like quite the situation. But I've learned with being neurodiverse and, you know, not knowing for so long, just again, what that meant for me, how much I spent my life just in fight or flight, and I didn't even realize. So it's a beautiful thing, having a reminder, right? That like first gasp of air at whatever point in the day, and you're like, how long have I been out here like this, you know? Does anyone else remember in their younger years, or maybe even still, like having coffee for breakfast and going out to work and running late and just imagining all that stress and adrenaline? And I don't miss those days. I do not. And I'm just so thankful to have a lifestyle that aligns with my highest self. And it's something I've built over the years. So it's here to catch me when I go through stuff. But even with all of the self-care and all the work, I have experienced challenges that have knocked me down, doodly down, and into like some real anxiety. And then I can't communicate as me, and I'm like, the only thing that really moves us out of these really intense, chaotic kind of bursts of energy and challenges is the radical acceptance to be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I've got me, you know? Yeah, that was something I had to keep coming back to, is like feeling so much anxiety and then being like, okay, well, why? And it's like, yes, the anxiety is logical and rational given what I was experiencing, but is it resourceful? So it was like, it was such a dance too of like validating my anxiety, but also being like, it doesn't have to drive the car. I can still drive the car, right? Like we'll switch seats, right? Mr. Anxiety. So, yeah. I know a lot of people have faced challenges like that, where it is really, you have to be so conscious with yourself, and it's such a careful dance. And I love finding people that relate to this. People sometimes reach out to me after the live events and they're like, wow, you're describing my life. And I'm like, I'm so glad that we're all finding each other, because I really didn't know people experience what I did until I started finding like spaces like this. So I love you guys. Point blank. I'm going to read some more comments because I'm just, again, so happy to have you guys here. And feel free to share if you guys have gone through anything kind of challenging lately, or if you have a win, like bathe me in your wins. Let me live vicariously through any amazing thing that's happened lately. Even if you just got a really good bagel, you know, or I say bagel weird, don't I? Sometimes I say things like Halloween and people look at me. The autistic accent. I actually found studies that show that people with autism have like a specific accent. And growing up, I used to always get asked where I'm from. I was like, from here. Just be talking fast. And I take on the vernacular, is that the word, of other people, and I take on I take on a lot of people's like phrases. That echolalia, I sing a lot of songs. Like I'll hear it and sing it for like 3 days after. It's charming to be around me. Debbie, hello. It's so good to have you here. It's so amazing when you guys return. Thank you so much. I'm so happy when I see like your little pictures and I see like familiar faces. There's no better feeling in the world. There isn't. I mean, if someone could invent a gluten-free cinnamon bun, that would be like neck and neck, you know? No, it's you guys. You guys win. I'm just a true Taurus. I'm like, can it be a cinnamon bun? I'm gonna laugh myself into a cough here. I'm about to take a walk and listen to you and be in our own world expanding. Oh my goodness, that's so beautiful, Debbie. I always want to take my Insight Timer like on an adventure, but I feel like my data plan isn't set up like that. Like I feel like that would be reckless. So that's really, you're living my goals essentially, and I'm really happy for you. And I love when you guys share what you're doing and where you're joining from. So please do. Aaron, welcome back. I love it so much. I'm here to learn about self-love. Mine's broken. The self-critic is wild. Nah, the self-critic is wild, but what I've learned is it doesn't ever stop being wild. You just move it over. Like you put it in the back seat as many times as you need to. Like that kind of metaphor of driving the car. I've done like how many years of self-work and I'm even doing this, and I literally help and teach and guide other people. And as soon as I went through those crazy challenges, which I'm still navigating, the level of self-criticism and the slam, like my confidence literally like everything. I was like unsure of the world, dissolving, like my ego redissolved. I was like, I don't know who and what and how, and am I worthy? And it was just like when life cracked me open a little, it's like all the old OCD. I used to have really bad, like kind of like rituals, and I would get trapped in, it's just living in a way that it's so exhausting. Anyone that has, experiences OCD or anything, it feels very opposite of your values, and it just feels very, it kind of feels like it controls you in some senses. And I battled with it a lot in my past. I don't really like talking about it, clearly you can tell, but I'm just going to be vulnerable and open because this is my experience and I should share it. I battled it kind of in the past, and then I learned to not battle it and to just nurture myself as much as possible. And it's systematic as well, but the more I came out of like pure challenges and chaos, the more it was more manageable. And I haven't had it really to that point. So it was amazing to see it reintroduce and come back, and that level of self-criticism to come back, and all those things to come back full-fledged super quick. And I was like, oh, I thought we did the work, you know, like no, it can come back so fast and hot and fast, man. And at the end of the day, I think it always will. And that's the practice, it doesn't ever go away fully. You just come back to yourself, witness that you're experiencing criticism, and know that it's not you. Like you wouldn't choose that. You didn't put that internal soundtrack on. You didn't like hit that on the jukebox. It's the things that you've gathered from the world around you. It has nothing to do with you. It is like anyone who doesn't have that in this world. Like what are you, like everyone has it a bit, because look at the world around us. It's told us who to be, how to be, all these things. And I love Gen Z and the newer generations kind of dismantling things and the change that's naturally happening in the world. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius and all these things, right? There's all this change. But at the end of the day, whoever experiences self-criticism, you're so not alone. You're so not alone. And you cannot ever feel like, you know, it's you or it's your failure. You did something. I honestly don't even know how to describe it, but the most effective thing for me is to literally just be like, I don't want to be self-critical right now. And then I notice that the more I breathe, the less my head races. The more I feel my body, the less my head races. And I've noticed this. When the head is racing, the breath is usually shallow. They're usually connected. So is it self-criticism or is it somatic? Can we open up? Like you can't see right now, but like open up the chest, open up the arms, look up, look at the sky. When we're out and we're self-critical, we look down. And we avoid things and people, and we're overstimulated and all this. It's all valid. It's all real. It's very true. It's like a lot of people face it. You're not alone. But look up. Look up at the sky. Like when you were a kid, before you had all these internal, I said we never see rainbows anymore. It's because we're always looking down and we're always thinking about something and focused on something. Like find the rainbows and trust that you're allowed to be self-critical. That's normal, but you don't have to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think is the most impactful for me, is being like, this is a logical thing to experience in the systematics of being alive on this planet. And then when I just give that radical acceptance to it, it loosens. and then I come back into my body and my breath. And can we always take 2 minutes to breathe? Yes. It's when we feel like we don't have time to breathe that we need to do it the most. Even doing 4-7-8 breathing, just really fast, like a quick one there. I think I actually have a track I'm uploading. I think I recorded a few. Again, all this stuff happened in my life and swept me. And I have like the memory, like ADHD, your memory is like all over sometimes, and the brain fog from the stress and the sleep, you know, it's all like, we're in it's foggy, to say the least. But I'm so happy to still show up here and just be vulnerable and honest. So if anyone else feels that way too, they know they're not alone. And now I'm going to forget what I was saying, but essentially, I recorded a bunch of tracks that are going to be really helpful for those like check-ins with ourselves when we are feeling self-critical, because it's such a real challenge and I face it so much. And then something happens that reminds me that I'm like kind of cool and fun to be around, and like I like myself. I do. I really do. Like I have bad days, everyone does. But when I come back to that, I'm like, oh, that feels so much better. So to Erin, you're the best. And you're the best. Like, we love you here. And everything about you is great. And maybe that'll help just rinse your brain a little, because it's the truth and you need to hear it. And I don't know if you have enough people in your life telling you, and I know I don't. And that's partly why I wanted to create this community as well. So the self-critic is no match for me being like, go Erin, over and over every Thursday for the rest of your life, should you come, which I think you should. So anyone else who needs the enthusiasm and encouragement too, like, feel free. You guys jump in the comments, get a little vulnerable. It's a great time. But Erin, it's amazing when you come here every week and you like donate and you share and you relate. This is literally like, I dreamed of having people like you and Debbie and Christine and everyone here. This is insane for me. Like, I think I wrote in my dream journal about like literally who and how it would all look. And this is really it. So not to be lame and cheesy, Erin, but you're like a wish fulfillment for someone. That's how great you are. So I'm going to cry. Guys, I'm going to cry. And then cough. You're all a wish fulfillment. Well, isn't that cool? Like, all of you are someone's wish being fulfilled. You can't doubt yourself. You can't stay in the crappy job and relationship when you know someone out there is wishing to have you in their space. Tina, after I left home and married with child, my dad still said, "Are you moving home?" Every time I walked in the door. That's exactly my parents. They're like, "And are you going to move?" Like, and I think that they want me to move out of Vancouver because they perceive it as like kind of exhausting, and that's fair. But I think that, like, yeah, best case scenario, I move somewhere not too close, like, obviously, like, but within the Okanagan or something, right? And it's interesting because the more I grow, the more I see family really is the most important thing. But I also feel like where a lot of people were exploring the world and doing things, I was really in the depths of like my own stuff and challenges and being like, again, undiagnosed and kind of having relentless challenges with my mental health and things like that, and just a lot of trauma in and out of the mental health system. And yeah, my 20s were dark, kind of, but really beautiful too, right? Like, there was it's not all one thing, right? That's the thing about life. Like, there's that duality. So I won't stand here and say it was all terrible, because absolutely not. I integrated so much wisdom, and you do learn to dance through some of the storms and stuff, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't exactly how it was. So yeah, but it would feel counter, almost intuitive to my soul to go back to the Okanagan after building up such a craving and desire to experience more life and more of the world. You know what I mean? And I think that that's been my practice as well, is that it's actually an act of love to my parents for me not to do that, because then I would be living a life that isn't full and honest and nurturing of what I actually want. And that's why they created me, right? Even if their mental frontal lobe can't remember that, their heart and the way that they are shows that they probably want me to be living the most epic life, right? So even though they say one thing, I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna go like probably to another country, hopefully at some point. I want to play and I want to live and I want to learn languages and I want to do it all. And I feel like I'm late, but I know that that's not true. That's just the systematics of being alive. We always think we're too late, or we're too old, or we don't know enough, or when we're young, we think we're not ready. And then we're not even old, we think we're too old. It's like, no, what is this, like, all this fake news, bro? Like, let's get this out of here. Let's just live life exactly to do it. Let's do exactly what we want, no matter who we are, where we want. just break the chains of every kind of internal ableistic thought that tells us we need to do and be and marry and live like anyone. Like, the more I take myself out of heteronormative standards and the patriarchal and the, you know, what was made in colonialism and all these juicy things that, oh God, you know, the more I separate myself from it, I'm like, that feels way better. And I want to help everyone feel that safe, that they can be exactly who they want to be without feeling like they have to hide or run or be dysregulated and they don't know how to regulate their emotions. Like, no, I want to provide those resources. I want to provide that community. I want this to be a movement. So again, when you guys donate it, that's what we're really donating to, is creating a safer world for everyone and a really secure kind of community where we can learn so much about ourselves that it just, instead of going about things the hard way, we can be so honest and see ourselves with such loving eyes from practices like this, that we move things with love rather than with force and confusion and endless certifications and education that maybe doesn't even get us to where we want to be. It's funny, we can do so much trying to achieve something else before we're honest with ourselves and realize there's a different route for us, right? We can do things a different way. And I've said that a lot in here, like being neurodiverse, we have to do things a different way. Sometimes I say my rule of thumb is do everything backwards or opposite. Whenever someone tells me to do something one way, I do it the other. And that's partially my, what's it called? Pathological demand avoidance. Like, even my dad yesterday, it's like, you're gonna take the train, right? I was like, I biked home in the rain. But it's also 6 o'clock and the train's gonna be really full for me and my bike, right? So, but I'm pretty opposite. Like, when people tell me to do something, I'm like, I think I'm gonna do the opposite. And when I don't, though, I get myself in more trouble. So it's a beautiful thing to recognize that you have different needs than the rest of the world, and they probably do too, and they're still learning it too. Christine, not constantly seeking happiness. Love this wisdom. Christine, it really changed my life. Like, when I realized that not everything needs to feel like a TV show or a movie or it's something we dreamed of when we were younger or thought of, or, you know what I mean? Like, it just gets to be neutral. And sometimes it's so neutral, I'm not even like gonna meditate or do yoga. I'm just gonna sit and just be so neutral and just like be in the space of nothing. And I don't ever have really time to do that, but like, you know what I mean? To have just the ability to be like bored and like not dating anyone and not getting a lot of dopamine from anything and not on your phone, and to just be like alive and, you know, kind of like, it's really healing, because then you don't, that's not a void you have to fill all the time. And checking in with emotions, that's crazy, but it's very necessary. Like, emotional literacy is something I'm still learning. Like, I don't know, I think it was Adriana Rizzolo. I did one of her like live somatic replays. I'm on her email list and I'm obsessed with her. I found her on Instagram one day and it's changed my life. Her name is also Adriana, so is mine. So I was like, and then yeah, everything she says makes me cry because it feels like it's spoken from a channel of my heart that I can't even translate. Like, she's just so heart-wise. I don't know a better way to say it. So anyway, she's incredible. And she said something about being emotionally constipated. And I laughed so hard at that. But that is like me and my family. Like, we've learned emotional literacy like later in life. And we actually didn't know how to identify our emotions a lot when I was younger. And we would just like have like you know what I mean? Like build up, breakdown, build up, breakdown. And then you have so many people. It's so dynamic. It can get really challenging having that, right? And even now, sometimes I look back in my most challenging moments and where I put the most stress on new connections or friendships and where I got faced a lot of rejection. I was trying to put my emotions, like literally, I didn't know what they were. And I was trying to escape them through, I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I look back and it's like, girl, just sit with the emotion. It's not going to kill ya. But you'll learn that later and you have to love yourself. I still catch myself now at 31 being like, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's an emotion. Okay, we got this. We got this, you know? I can cycle like 80 kilometers and it's no sweat. But you're telling me like a bit of grief, like, sends me screaming. It does. Sometimes. But then sometimes it's really beautiful and I'm like, this is being alive. This is a love song. Or this is a really tragic poem. When your life feels like a Sylvia Plath poem. That's funny. Okay, I didn't get any hearts for that. Is no one a Sylvia Plath fan? I can't be the only Sylvia Plath person in here. Of all the people on Insight Timer, anyone? No? Not Sylvia. Okay, does anyone have a favorite poet? I mean, share yours then, because I'm out here sharing mine. I'm gonna need to know now, guys. What are we reading? Mary Oliver? What are we reading? Okay, I'm just gonna read the comments. I'm reading the comments. You guys tell me what you're reading. Adriana, you changed my life. That makes me so... Ella, I'm gonna cry. Ella, you changed my life by telling me that and being here. And that's amazing. I'm just like, I go silent because I'm like, this is why we do it. Bawl my eye out. Ella, you changed my life. I'm serious though. Oh, Claudia, I was saying earlier about how your water in the desert thing. And then I had to take last week off the live, and I was thinking about that, and it was just really beautiful. So thank you so much for coming back. I love when seeing you guys again. Like, your little display pictures are like my favorite things ever. Oh yeah, and the gluten-free cinnamon bun. I need to find it though. Like, is it too dramatic to do like a cross-country like quest for the greatest gluten-free cinnamon bun? Or should I just make my own? You know what's funny about having like the ADHD side of neurodiversity is wanting to do all these things but then never doing them. Has anyone else just bought groceries for a random recipe and then you just still have that like obscure thing in your cupboard and you still haven't made it? Anyone? Hearts? No? Anyone in the comments? Just me? Just me. You guys don't ever forget about your food? There we go. Okay, the vegetable drawer, it's like it doesn't exist. You close it and then like 10 years later you're like, a cucumber? Or what was a cucumber? No matter how good I get at being like an adult and having systems that really support my neurodiversity, I will randomly still find a cucumber I just looked past. I was in that drawer every day and it's like now completely soft and wilted and I'm like, how? I'm so on it. I'm in here every day. It's like you look past things. It's called object impermanence, right? That's the one. I saw this thing too on Instagram actually because I was just scrolling. I don't know. Don't get me started on that. Sometimes it's healing to do nothing, but sometimes it's like, this feels very like, I don't know, like a TV show from the future where I'm like looking at a machine and it's just like, you know, it's like mind control-esque in a way. It's like, this is a little too interesting, okay? And there's so many things and like, you see your dopamine kind of having that, you know, short reward system and you like need to be occupied at all times. I'm always like, okay, let's set some boundaries with the socials. But I saw this thing and it was like, when you develop house blindness, so you look past like random like things in your house that are broken, and that's so true. Like I have object impermanence like for food in my fridge, food on my counter, anything in my house that needs to be fixed, I'll just forget about it because I'll just like look past it, I guess. I don't know if anyone relates to that, but it's amazing to see all these little tiny nuances that you never really had a name for, but the more you learn about neurodiversity later in life, you realize these things have a name and you're like, that's really relieving. I mean, it doesn't make it stop or go away, but at least I know I'm not crazy now. Aaron, good to know it never stops. Just can't let it drive. I wish someone told me that, honestly, because I spent so long trying to stop it that I think it just gave it more power in a way, or it was elusive. Like it made it seem like I was on top of it and then it would come back and I wouldn't think it was there because I was like, I did the work. No, girl, the work is ongoing. The sassy voice to myself. But yeah, it means a lot, Aaron, when you share these things, because yeah, it's nice to talk about because it's something I do need to talk about. My self-critic went wild as I went through these challenges the past month. I literally felt so unworthy all the time. Like, but I noticed that sometimes the most crazy challenges and chaos precede or like come before the biggest breakthroughs. Like I honestly see life kind of in like timeline shifts, and right when I think things like are going so well, then they don't go well. I always see kind of like this, like, I don't know, it's all not linear. I've learned to really trust, like when I feel the least worthy, usually means I'm about to have the biggest breakthrough. And that I learned, and it blew my mind, and it saved me for some really big defeating like self kind of mental breakdowns, because I'd be like, why am I, like, I just was doing so well, why am I here, what's happening, all these challenges. No, dude, sometimes it's right before the biggest breakthrough of your life and something just moves. And I also saw someone say that too. It was like, I'm cooked. No, I'm ascending. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt. I felt cooked like last month. And now I'm like, I'm probably stronger, wiser, more calm, more aware of where I need boundaries and more aware. Like I am better for it. Like, damn, it was annoying, but I am better for it. And it doesn't mean everything's resolved yet, but I'm here with you guys. So like, what can I complain about? This is incredible. And then everything that comes up, every challenge, I will check in with my body, have a little calm, and then resolve it as best as I can, you know? Just, that's all you can do. Anything that comes up, check in with yourself, resolve. Check in with yourself, resolve, you know? Take breaks when you need, if you can, you know? Rest, self-acceptance, radical acceptance. It's amazing how these simple things like eat, sleep, radical acceptance can carry you through when you feel like you can barely move forward, you know? I think it's an important reminder. Because we can study everything in psychology and all the things, but at the end of the day, like, are we giving our bodies what it needs to be balanced and creative and expressive and kind and empathetic? I know I can be just like a very tall toddler at times, and I just need me a little snack and a little nap. So, can I get a hallelujah on that? Been a lot of naps lately, because I think integrating all the stress that my nervous system went through. If you've gone through a time of stress with your nervous system, I encourage you to rest as much as you need after, and do not be hard on yourself. You get in your cozies and you get down, man. You go rest. I think this is my 7th event, and I always miss when you tell your story. Sorry, I'll catch up someday. That's so funny. That's happened sometimes to the regulars. I find every time I say, okay, I'm going to tell my story, and then I do it, it's always to new people. Everyone's like, hi, new here, never been here before. And I'm like, oh no, y'all don't know any, like, it's good. Cause then they start with my story, but it's like, it's the people that ask for it that are never there when I do it. So I'm trying to find a way to write it out a bit more concisely and then share it and then record it on here as well. But then I had a lot of challenges in the digital tech world, let's say, and that got sidestepped. But Erin, I will do that. I will make it so that you can actually enjoy it. Well, enjoy, that's a reach. But it's beautiful. It ends beautifully. I'm here. It's a great time. Yeah, and I don't know how many events I've done now. I started them on July 4th, and we've done them every Thursday except for one. Tommy, no one can ultimately take away your connection to yourself other than yourself. Intimacy and relationships begin with connection to self. The depth that you can experience in your own being is directly connected to what is possible when you relate with others. Practice radical self-acceptance for where you are in this moment, but remember, I always have a choice in every moment. I totally agree with that. I agree with that. I think, like, systematically, though, the challenges for me specifically is sometimes I forget that. Like, and I think it's really beautiful to be reminded and to come together and to practice that. And that is essentially what we're doing. But I think sometimes I can be so hard on myself when I forget that. And there's the times that I want to make choices that's aligned with my highest self, but I'm not my highest self in those moments, you know? It's been such an interesting and nuanced journey. And even I shared here that I was going through challenges, and then I was also having a challenge kind of with like a relationship, a connection that I was getting to know someone. And even though I had such a good sense of what I wanted and the boundaries I didn't want to be disrespected, I still found myself in that place. And I just think it takes so much radical self-acceptance, like you said too, to really, just see yourself through all of it and say, okay, I can do as good as I can in each moment. And unfortunately, I've had to learn things like sometimes the really, really, really hard way. But again, it's made me such a better, softer, kinder, wiser, more like vibrant person at the end of the day. So I'm really thankful. And that's really beautiful, Tommy. No one can take away your connection to yourself other than yourself. It's really true. I don't think that, I always kind of like learned that along the way and talked about that with my parents too, that like no one does anything to us. They like, there's experiences that happen all around us, but it's valid to feel some challenges, but at the end of the day, we do have control and autonomy of ourselves. And that can be kind of challenging at first when you're so traumatized because you feel like it's your fault, but it's not. It's actually a really beautiful thing when we call back our power and we realize we get to design our life to a certain extent, right? Depending on the systematics of how we're living and where we're living. And it's just, it's really beautiful to come together and do this work and recognize that we always do have ourselves. And even in the biggest challenges, it was so funny. I was like, okay, well, at least they can't take this from me. And then they did. And then I said, well, at least they can't do this. And then they did. And then, you know, and it got to the point where, like, at least I have my physical health. You know, you literally just go down and down and down until you realize that even beyond your physical, if someone and something takes your physical, if you're like in war or it's something terrible, right? Like, and something, like anything that is against your will, like your spirit is still yours. And then beyond that, your spirit is still, like, we're still, like, just really being aware of that. I'm not separate from creation and the sunsets and the rainbows and all the things I find so beautiful. I'm really made of the same stuff. That is all it really is at the end of the day for me, is to experience life as a human on this planet. That is the most spiritual thing. And even Jessica Amos says that too. And it's so beautiful and such a good reminder. I'm here to be human, to feel the things, to learn things the hard way, sometimes to learn them the easy way, to do it all with beautiful people around me, to have these conversations, to do it all and to experience and feel it all is incredible. And it's true at the bottom and at the end of it and the beginning of it. It's just us. We're in it with us and no one else. We experience, you know, people come in and out, but we're always us and our own energy, our own wisdom as it develops, right? We learn so much through failure, perceived failure, where there really is no failure in my eyes. And there's no good, bad. Everything has so much duality, right? So it's really beautiful. I think the more I learn to just allow things and to marvel at them, it's more incredible. And it has you kind of leaning back more too, right? Because you're looking at things from the back of your eyes and the greater picture and the greater thing. And if you haven't tried that, like, just try to sit up and let what you're sitting on support you. And just look at the room from the back of your eyes. It's incredibly relaxing. You don't even realize how much we're like kind of hunched over and like looking and tensing all the muscles in our eyes, and to really let our seat support us and just sit down and just look at things from the back of our eyes. And even polyvagal, which we've done a couple times. I don't know, again, if you guys can see, when you have the elbows out and you just take your eyes over, you don't move your head. And this is really effective. This is Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory. It's in his, I think, his book is The Healing Power of the Vagus Nerve. And I've been meaning to put that in the community group, because if anyone needs that resource, it's incredible. But doing things like this is also really helpful. And then it does help me reconnect with that small voice inside that's like, I'm here. I've got you, you know, no matter how anxious, no matter how much, yes, you know, you walked into a relationship, you felt safe, and then it stopped being safe, and then you felt abandoned, but I'm still here with you, you know, that voice that is inside of you. And when we meditate, that part of ourselves we connect to, and oh yes, that job didn't go how we expected, and yes, the family, there's more conflict than we expected, and learning and, you know, healing generational trauma and all these things we've all related to through all these lives. Like, it's all so beautiful because it all puts us back into ourselves. And then we can see that we need spaces like this, and we deserve spaces like this, and we deserve to have people around us that get us and get the challenges of being, you know, empathetic and sensitive in this world. So yeah, it's really beautiful. I love when you guys share, and that was a really beautiful sentiment, Tommy. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing that. And it's a beautiful reminder for me and for everyone here. How powerful is it when we realize that we really are in charge and in control? At first it's scary because we're like, what do you mean someone's not going to tell me how to do life and what to do, and I don't have guidance? Like, I need cold hard answers to everything. But no, you don't get it. It's you follow in alignment, intuition, and these subtle cues and what feels good, and learning what pleasure felt like in my life and following that just by like eating the cookie and doing the thing and being softer with myself. It literally was so much more healing to my trauma and self-work journey than all the times trying to read like thick, you know, dense psychological jargon and things. Like, I was overread, overstudied, and under-practiced at a point. It was when I got into the somatics of like learning how to like feel what my body feels like. Sometimes I just don't even feel like I'm in a body, you know? We get so in our head or breathing shallow. And it's amazing to come back into our body and into like our wide perspective and into ourselves, right? When we're in fight or flight, we're not really connected to the parts of ourselves that are creative and resourceful. But no judgment to anyone ever that's in fight or flight, right? Like, I'm always so aware when I'm out in the world and I see if someone acts in a way, and if anyone's ever critical of them, I think, well, they wouldn't choose to be difficult. No one chooses to be a problem or a difficult or no one wants to break down in public. Nobody, like, I have so much empathy for people who are viewed as like a problem, because I've been there, and it's systematic. People do not choose to suffer. And all of these things have a deeper psychological, cause and impact. And it just is so important. And remember, we don't know what anyone's going through. And it's just, it's really, really beautiful to look at the world through the back of our eyes and with eyes of kindness for ourselves and for others. So that's my message for today. You don't know what they're going through. Please. No, that was me though. Like, I went through it. I went through a lot, and people really judged me, and that's like, that people are always going to do that, but it doesn't mean any of it's true or anything. And we can always come back to our power, and it's always there, right? Meditation's such a beautiful thing. Mindfulness is a beautiful thing because it connects us with this. Aaron, I just realized today that we never ever talked about emotions growing up. That's my family too. We realized that we had no emotional literacy. My parents were working like 12-hour shifts as nurses. They were dysregulated. Like, it was just, everything was like reaction based. We still had a lot of fun. Like, we had amazing memories, but we understand now, like, a lot of that generation, I'm not the only one. There's so many people my age that, like, emotions were not something we understood growing up, and our parents didn't either. And that's part of generational healing, right? Is like how the other generations had to survive war and different things, and like industrial, changes and stuff. Like, now we're in the digital world and all these changes, and it's just also valid, right? Like, we're all facing our own challenges as, generations, and where we don't face challenges that other generations did, we now have the capacity to understand things like emotional literacy and holistic practices, seeing mind, body, soul is connected rather than just attacking the body when something's wrong, right? The body's wise, our soul is wise. Life is cool if we let it be, and I just never want to, anyone who, like, when life doesn't feel cool, it's usually because we're struggling economically, right? Like, we're struggling in our economy. So I never want to say, like, life should feel cool. It's like, no, it shouldn't feel cool if you're struggling, like, financially, emotionally, with your health. Like, it's valid to struggle, but I hope that you always can find the sound of the birds and the feeling of sun on your skin. And I hope that the world conspires to get you out of your challenges and into abundance and into ease and into a supportive community full of resources. That is my, like, daily prayer for me, myself, and the whole world around me, is if you're in challenges, so help me God, I hope that your food tastes good. I hope that your shoes fit, your socks are warm, and you get through it. You walk through hell, because that's the only way to get through it, is to walk through it, to keep going. So I hope as you journey through these things that you are nourished as much as you can be. I know the systematics of this world are hard. We're so hard on ourselves trying to fix ourselves and heal our trauma, and how much do we struggle just staying alive, right? With the cost of living and people who feel like they're rejecting us, and we feel rejected, and we're not achieving our dreams, and it's so exhausting. And it's just incredible to come together and realize we can put all of that down. We don't need to live like this. We don't need to carry the weight of expectations that don't matter. We came here to live a unique life, and it's unwritten. We don't even know, and we're not supposed to. So yeah, it's really beautiful to remember, and doing this work and being here with you guys really reminds me. So thank you so much for always coming and showing up again. And if you've been here, once or twice or how many times, it's such an honor to have you. And thank you so much for donating, and thank you so much for just listening, because I think that this is, a wish fulfillment for me, and also just very healing for me. And it's what I always wanted to do, is share some things that maybe so others don't have to suffer as much as I did in those ways. So yeah, I always just like to remind you guys that the space is here every Thursday. There's a community group. You can follow me on here. I'm making lots of tracks to help support the things that we talk about. And when you donate, it makes all of that possible. So thank you guys, really, from the bottom of my heart, for supporting what supports you. That's what Jessica says as well too, right? If you feel supported here, it means so much when you guys let me know that and donate and things. Maya, please tell me how to say your guys' names. I'm sorry if I mess them up. My name, I always get called Adriana, and I'm Adriana, so it's like, I so relate. You gotta fully give it to me, like, phonetically. But about Sylvia Plath, okay, that's refreshing. I'm glad. I was like, guys, does no one like Sylvia Plath? I thought we were all besties. And Mary Oliver as well. I love Mary Oliver. What are you going to do with your one wild and precious life, or whatever her quote is? I love that. Sometimes it pressures me, though. It's like, I think I need to rest in order to reconnect with what I want to do with my wild and precious life.
I'm reading Please Understand Me. Is that a book, Debbie? Should I Google it? I want all the book recommendations. Thomas Merton. Okay, I need to take like a photo of this or something, because I'm rice paper, fully intended summer rolls. I don't remember what I was talking about now, because these are so funny, because it's like about the books. That sounds so good though. Summer rolls. Oh, those are the best. You know, I didn't used to like them because the texture, but now I'm like craving it. Me and my dad actually went to like a cute little like I don't know, it's called Rice and Noodle, and I used to not do great with Asian food because I didn't really understand how to order what I like wanted, I guess. I just didn't have experience, and I went with a few people that ordered for me over the years, and I discovered that I like pho. I'm probably saying that wrong, but I never used to like soup or like, I don't know. I just wasn't adventurous in that way, I guess. I have been adventurous with other foods. Like I love Mexican food, but I have, you know, been there before. So I tried the food again when it was recommended to me and handed to me, and that really helps. And yeah, I'm getting more into like just different, I guess, like Asian flavors and stuff. And I have a lot of friends. I live in Vancouver, which is close to Richmond, which has a large Asian community, and then where I work as well, and a lot of the food gets delivered and to the party rooms and stuff, because it's like a rock climbing / birthday party space. It's very high energy and fun. There's a lot of food that gets ordered. I'm always curious about it, so it was so fun to go somewhere, and I got like something I've never tried before, and it was incredible. And now I'm just craving like all the just different kinds of food and stuff, and I want to recreate some things gluten-free that I can't have, like a pad thai you can't order usually because soy sauce has gluten in it. So I'm excited about that. I actually, fun fact, I have a food blog like on my website, but I haven't been able to update it a lot lately, but it has some really good, actually, because I did it like last fall, some good fall, winter, like some stews and stuff. I tried to just come up with recipes that are like really delicious, because I struggle with like the ARFID and like kind of like the autistic, like, you know, sensory kind of like different textures and flavors aren't really like amazing for me. So I try to make my safe foods essentially as healthy as possible. So it would be great if that's helpful for someone else too, to make a food that you feel safe eating more nourishing. I think that we all deserve that, to get as much nutrition and joy out of our food. So that's another passion of mine. Spoken like a true Taurus. I'm here like talking about spirituality and like how much I love you guys, and then I go off and cook and bake, and I really like who I am now. It's cool. Like, I mean, when I was going through the beginning of, you know, the depths of like when my trauma was the most intense, I wasn't like cooking and baking and building this beautiful home with plants and things, and I don't know, you can see some plants, but all the work has been so worth it. And I look around every day, my house is more of a home. I'm more of who I want to be, and there's an eyelash in my eye, and I think I knocked it in more. Don't you love that? I'm gonna be like kind of blinking weird, but I do have to wrap up soon anyway, so maybe that was my like, you know, last call for alcohol at the bar, you know? Anyone remember that? No? When they first started drinking, staying at the bar till it closed? What were we doing? You gotta do it once, I guess, right? They turn the lights on, you're like, oh god, no, we need to leave. We need to leave. It's my eyelash right now. It's like, your time is up. I hope you guys like my sense of humor. It's very random sometimes. I think like sometimes it won't land because of my audience is so international here, and also different generations. But then I'm like, no, we're all people. We're all people. We've all had funny. Some people relate. Some people don't expect my humor too. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence you don't belong, because you'll always find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you'll always find it. Our worth and our belonging are not negotiated with other people. We carry those inside our hearts. That's beautiful. That's kind of what we practice here as well. It's really beautiful, Tommy. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we're in the comments. You're getting a hallelujah and an amen. Debbie's like, Tommy, yes, and Tina's like, love that, Tommy. And I love that, because we're a true community, guys. Like, as much as can we just engage with each other, and as much too, like outside of the live events, like, can we get the community group going? Because that would be my dream, that if I miss you guys through the week, or I need a little encouragement, or you need encouragement, we could just go into the Adrian Alternative community group and just be like, what's up, guys? How's your day? Mine's not good. And then we send you like fun things and resources and flower emojis. Anyone? What do you think? Silent agreement? Okay. The resilience that I felt while journeying is the real prize, and I wouldn't take that away. It's given such a vast and open heart. Debbie, that is true, so true. It is so true. And when I'm exhausted, I'm like, it's going to make some good comedy though. You know, when I feel like I can't go on anymore, I'm like, this is going to make me a better person, isn't it? So tired. Yes, Please Understand Me by David Kiersey, Personality Types and Acceptance. Great book. I need to read that. I have so many books, like right behind my laptop and everything is just all books that I need to read. But I'm like, I need to read this one too. I'm just going to make a book for it and then read my way out of it. I think that's my master plan. I don't have free time, but I'm still going to delusionally dream. What's my blog? It's on my website, which is linked to my, my brain is starting to shut down. My teacher profile on here. If you follow me and come back, Jackie, JC, please tell me how to say your name. It's really beautiful. You can find my website on the bottom of my teacher profile. And, yeah, just anything there that you need. I think everything's linked on there. The functionality of my website, I'm like, I don't know right now, but I have an IT team working on it. Blair, hello. It's so great to have you here. Oh, that's amazing. Erin, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's so true. I remember working at a restaurant downtown Vancouver when I first moved here, and they would always say that. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The lights would go on, and people would be like doing like cartwheels and stuff. It's like, yeah, you need to get out of here. Like, you're probably not gonna go home. It's true. You're like having way too much fun. That's hilarious. I love that. Tommy, we will remain the same until the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain. You can't heal the pain you refuse to feel. You have to feel it all. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or if we wait for some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Yeah. It's really beautiful. Dropping bangers here, Tommy. Dropping absolute bangers. One after another, eh? Wow. Okay. A book for it, like the ones you made when you were young. Yes, Tina, you do remember, as you are my mother. I love that. It's so great to have you here. You're like, this is true. This is a fact. JC. Oh, that's so beautiful, JC. I really like that. I really like that. I realized when I said it, I was like, Jackie, no, it needs a K to be a Jackie. But that's so beautiful. JC. Michelle, hello. Oh my goodness, it's so great to have you. I'm like wrapping up now though. That's sometimes the timing drives me crazy, but I'm the one putting this in the middle of the day on a Thursday. I don't know. I try to get as much of you here as I can, spend as much time with you guys as I can. But I do have to wrap up, unfortunately, but it's still amazing. It's still amazing to see you, Michelle. And you know, I saw you in another live I went to, so maybe we'll connect again this week in another live or in the community group. And I will be here every Thursday now. I did have to cancel last week, which is very rare, and I didn't like it. I don't think I'll do it again. I think this is very helpful and nourishing and incredible for me. So thank you. And please do donate to help make this more possible. All of you, I know I know systematically and economically, like I understand how money can be such a challenge right now. But it really does mean so much, and it makes us possible to keep showing up here. I'd love to go live another day a week. I'd love to create more resources. I'm trying to kind of get into a place where I can afford that. And there's been a lot of challenges, a lot of investing money that I don't have into IT and things like that, because the world is a crazier place than I thought it was. And that's all I'm going to say about that on here. I did kind of allude to some of the challenges I had before, and yeah, it has been challenging, but I'm so glad to be here and making comedy about it, you know, gentle slay this week. Love you. See, Michelle, you remind me who I am. Lover girl and always slaying, you know, until this month came and knocked me over, but I'm back here. I'm better, stronger, and yeah, I gotta wrap up. I can feel my brain kind of shutting down. I notice my capacity for things is like, I have to be more restful for sure as I come out of challenges. So if you are listening and you've had challenges, please don't be hard on yourself. Please whenever you need rest, just do it. And yeah, I'm going to close up, but I can't wait to see you guys next week already. And hopefully I'll be all the more recovered and energetic and comedic and amazing and full of wisdom. And it'll be amazing. I'm glad to be back, and it was really impactful to take that week off, like last week, even though I didn't want to. So thank you guys for all your support and cheering me on and sending hearts and donating, and I love you guys. You know where to find me. It's not hard. You can find me on and off the app, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Namaste, my friends. It's hard to say goodbye.